When we keep, when we come into this world, we are given the equipment, the hardware, the eyes, the hands, the nose, the mouth, and so on and so on. But what is the software that was put into when we came into this world? We acquired it over a period of time. Maybe at the beginning, very beginning, we were a little bit slow. But as we grew, we acquired lots and lots of information with greater and greater speed, analysis, integration, observation, experimentation, conclusions, and then forming opinions and so on. So you are not just the body, but something else. The moment we understand that there is something else which is learning, which is directing, which is probably distracting, and so on, you will have a higher level of maturity available to you. That higher level of maturity will be the really inspiring part of your life. Otherwise, you are like any other animate item in the world. With 84 lakhs of species on this planet Earth, why is it that only the human beings were able to prove their mark beyond doubt compared to the remaining 83 lakhs 99,999? It is a brilliant, complex, very capable, probably not measurable capacity coupled with the vocal box. Our ability to speak is unique. Ability to think and question and experiment again, unique. Combine these and then you will find the evolution of the human history over thousands and thousands of years has proved beyond doubt that what no other form of creation has achieved, human beings collectively, not just as an individual, collectively could achieve and demonstrate. The moment we introduce a bit of spirituality in our attitude, in our awareness, in what guides us as a guiding force, you are likely to have a broader view that you are having your ego, right? You need it. But then beyond a point, just being egoistic is not going to help you. The traditional school of thought that you must learn to control is the secret of moving forward. Why I am putting it that way is for the simple reason that we must understand as to what are the limiting factors and what are the liberating factors. The same thing is binding. The same thing is relieving. An idea works both ways. The wealth that you have acquired is nothing but excess of income over expenditure. Barring the lucky few, many of us in the initial stages will be earning and our expenses will be growing at a much faster rate than our income. And consequently, we will find a situation where maybe either we are borrowing or we are consciously fighting to survive or make both ends meet. Why I am putting it that way is a stage will come if you are wise enough to conserve, to limit, not very ambitiously, lavishly become a spendthrift. You are likely to begin saving. And probably marriage is such a turning point where you accept the responsibility of an additional member in your life. And then when you beget children, one or two more souls get added. So that is a point of realization in the life of an individual that he must learn to discipline, learn to control, learn to save, not become a spendthrift. The modern EMI culture that anything I want, I can buy on credit and pay from my future installments or future earnings is creating a very peculiar artificial demand for the products, which the transactional approach or which the consumerism or which the modern commerce is encouraging, and it is luring you into a debt trap. Thanks again to the debit cards, credit cards, loans, EMIs, and all the facilities and so on. So what I am trying to tell you is the wealth is the real wealth inside, not the diamond rings I may be having on my fingers, not the cost of the coterie, that is clothes, etc., and then the cost of the other things that I am using. So wealth is something which is, I would put it as intellectual and spiritual. The good friends that you are destined to acquire, it all depends, I would use the word luck, but sometimes luck favors you, and you can think of also searching for luck or creating luck. It all depends on the set of circumstances where you are placed and so on. Now, this wealth which I am referring to is intellectual. As I've said, the basic equipment is already given to you by nature. But what you put into that, how do you process it? How do you assemble it and reassemble it? How do you do the re-engineering that is required? The time you spend with yourself makes the difference. Let me admit it. You can give very big names like meditation, spend 10 minutes with yourself, or meditate twice a day. There are so many forms of meditation and all that. But let me tell you, the time you spend with yourself in silence is the most rewarding part of your day. Why I am putting it this way is all the experiences in the preceding 24 hours can be filtered and processed through during those 10 minutes of your time at breakneck speed. What will happen? What happened? Were you responsible for it? Why did it happen? Did you encourage that to happen? Or is it that it just happened in spite of your ability or desire to control it? That would give you lessons as to how you have to mold your future from today onwards. What are the things to be avoided? What are the things to be welcomed? What are the things to be accepted? What are the things to be tolerated? And so on. This gives you greater approaches to what can be called as clarity. With clarity comes purity. And with purity, when you persist, you will be able to awaken divinity. The limited nature of all that is visible is finite, transient, not available for you, not available for you till eternity. They are given as though what is called as trusteeship principle. That means whatever that has been bestowed to you is made available to you temporarily for your use. You have a right to use, but you have no right to misuse or abuse or disuse. The moment we understand this, then the issue comes, what is it I have to do with what has been given, which I cannot take along with me or pass it on directly to my own children as though it is inherited wealth? Thank God I was chosen to be in the teaching profession. God gave me the opportunity. Let me confess, I was selected way back in 1965 as a probationary officer in the State Bank of India. I was tempted to accept personal problems, no need to discuss them at this stage. I left that opportunity and I continued my teaching profession. No regrets. But because I was a teacher, I could enjoy the everlasting smiles of evergreen generations for till my retirement. And lucky I am that even after 21 years of my retirement, I go to colleges and institutions, but for the COVID during the past 2 years, and I interact with people, talk to them and tell them what they are missing in their modern, fast, wayward life, distractions they are experiencing. They are diluting their focus. They are non-serious type. And I have a feeling these are the issues which you, the senior JCs, I appeal to you, must make it a point. Now you are all, as Gampa has said very clearly, you are now in your 50s, 60s, 70s, etc., maybe retired or not tired, I'm sure, and busy with so many things. But I think probably one thing that can be done is make it a point that at least once in a month for 1 hour, you offer your services to any college or any high school, preferably a place where you were born and brought up, if it is possible for you to reach that place, and if it is not very far off from your place of residence. Pay back something to the society. This is what we call as replenishment. It is only when you give back, the pool becomes wider and bigger and deeper and greater. Unless you are creating wealth, you have no right to consume the wealth. I read it somewhere that to have our regular food, the South Indian food where rice and all that, is grown, about 72 people have to contribute a little more or a little less religiously and seriously. And then only we will be able to have our regular food. What does this mean? How indebted we are, not just to the previous generations of people who have protected this, notwithstanding the two world wars and all that, but how much we are grateful to the people who are now still working. Maybe they are working in their own selfish interest because they don't want to starve. They are working. They are eking out some living. But the most important point that we must remember is what is it that you are paying back yourself? Compared to the soldier who is protecting our borders at 30, 35 minus degrees, 30, 35, compared to a little unfriendly agriculture activity throughout the country, whether he is a farmer in Punjab or a farmer in Kerala or Andhra or Tamil Nadu or Telangana or Maharashtra or whatever that be, how many things that we consume every day? Just count the things that you are having on your body at this moment. How many hundreds of people have to work for you to take care of your comfort? If you are very clear about it, what is your contribution, how much you are doing, how you are doing, how well you are doing are the important points that must draw our attention. For example, when I go to a shop and would like to buy something costly or ordinarily priced, I would love to see that I get value for my money. Similarly, in my case, when students come to the classroom, don't you think you have a duty to give your best to them? The moment you realize that you have to give your best, extend the logic beyond the area of work for you. What I'm trying to tell you is when you accept something, when you promise something, give your honest best and commit yourself to continuously improve it. If someone has heard me say a month or two ago, and then today he is hearing me, he must find Vishwanadham to be more fluent, more in-depth, more perceiving, more clarity, greater purpose, and greater fulfillment. I can go on with this monologue, but then I'm not very sure as to what particular aspects you want me to stress. Whatever our Gampa has asked as to what is my wealth is my society. My wealth is my trust in God. You may say, sir, your God may be different, your religion may be different. Believe me, my friends, God is one. We may give different labels, we may give different ornaments, or what we call traditionally, it is Saguna, Nirguna, Sakara, Nirakara, attributeless, attribute, form with form, without form, and all that. So, my dear friends, to many of you who must be very busy with your jobs and businesses and establishments, etc., Spare at least 5 minutes to know something about the greatness of your own country. Mera Bharat Mahan. Thousands of years of dedicated, sincere penance and practice of hundreds of people, thousands of people, I should say, has given us the wisdom which is unbeatable. Nobody else, no other culture can have this sort of depth. I'm not saying with any ego or pride. Look at it, observe it, and look at the contributions made in the history. Look at the promise, the potential. Look at the divinity. Barring for the 500 to 600 years of foreign domination on our Indian culture, there may be 1,000 defects in the manner in which things are practiced in India. Try to attack, try to reform, try to change, but don't curse India. India is the only country we have. No other country will welcome you. Even if they were to welcome you, they will first ask you to convert into their religion. At least the freedom that we are enjoying in our country will not be available for you in many other countries, barring America and certain Western-oriented cultures. But believe me, love your country, love your language, love your people, love your society, love humanity, and love the all-pervading, single, unifying spirit of God. Call it by any name, call according to any religion. I have no comment to make. Gampa, over to you. You ask me, I will answer.
Sir, one question, sir. How you are managing the health at this age, 81?
I would put it this way, it is my health that is managing me than my managing the health.
Yes, sir.
You see, the body consists of many systems and subsystems. There are certain things which we have inherited from our parents, which we can't manage. But the manner in which we have lived our life certainly helps you to manage your systems and subsystems. For example, don't quote me out of context. Easy to digest food will not be a strain on the digestive system. For example, you eat masalas. Once in a way, it is all right, but you eat masalas. Or what we call ati sarvatra varjayet. That means extremely hot, extremely cold things, and so on. Or maybe barring those who enjoy non-vegetarian food. I mean, is our system suitable for consumption of such things? Again, don't quote me out of context. Occasionally, nowadays, it is a fashion. People may think of beverages and alcoholic drinks. I can understand. But how about those people who go to hookah and drugs and psychedelic drugs and so on? Is it necessary for a human being to have them? Many people, because they have reached a higher strata of society, they feel that they are entitled to enjoy things which other common men are deprived, and that tempts them to try. This temptation to try makes them become a slave. And you would always feel that I'm strong enough, I'm determined, nothing would affect me, I will definitely try to do something about it, and so on. But believe me, our human minds are not that strong enough. We are not like a Bhishma. Please remember that. And try to, what we call, a little less of everything will really create more of everything. See it in the seed form. Maybe occasionally, if you want to taste something, taste and leave it, but don't stick to it. Every thought is like a seed. It sprouts, becomes a plant, grows into a tree. Each season, it gives you thousands and thousands of buds. They blossom into flowers. They become raw fruit, then ripe fruit, then they become fruit, and then they give you again seeds. Human being also fits in this example. You yourself are born, and you, during your lifetime, if you want, are capable of creating few more. Is it not a responsibility for you? Because life is a relay race. What do I mean by relay race? We have to preserve the best of the past, protect it, and pass it on to the coming generations. Now, if you accept this responsibility, that you have to pass it on the goodness to the coming generations, you will learn to behave in a very responsible manner. And that responsibility, that I should not be a burden to my children, that I should be active enough, that I must do a bit of yoga as age permits. Way back, for example, 40, 50 years ago, I used to spend about half an hour to 45 minutes doing some yoga, yogic exercises. Twice in a day or so I used to do. But then now I don't have that energy, but I have the enthusiasm. Now, when energy is lacking, activity level may be lacking, but then enthusiasm, sitting at my home, thanks to the Zoom sessions, I think I am as active as I was earlier.
Yes, sir.
So my suggestion is keep three-page introductory note about the book you have read and why do you recommend that book to be read by fellow JCs and so on, and see that it is put on a website where everybody, whether he is attending this meeting or missing this meeting, will be able to access it and so on. This is how we can grow, by allowing more people to access our wisdom, instead of trying to say that if you are attending this session, then only you will get the benefit of it. For example, this very program is being offered on YouTube. Now that simply means many others now or later can think of using that. So it is preserved till eternity. For posterity, it is preserved. So what I am trying to tell you is, see that you reach, outreach, you can spread, cast your net wide, and you will be able to make a difference. Greater the level of activity, greater the justification for the God to prolong you on this planet Earth. The moment you become inactive, he will pull the plug out and the fan will stop. There is a beautiful quote, many of you must have heard it. Anayasena maranam bahujanma krutaphalam. That's a point. Bina dainyena jeevitam. A life where you are not starving, and a life where you will just leave this world with a smile, is possible because of series of deliberate, conscious attempts in previous births. Whatever we have done earlier, we do not know. But now let us think of giving our best, doing our best, living our best. And then, as Vaman Kumar Garu has said, grow to glow to become great. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, I will take.
Yes, sir. Another two. I have one more question, but before that, my question. Grow to glow to wealth. Wonderful. Manish, carry on, boss. Manish, your question. Manish Bagadia.
Yes, sir. Vishwanadham Garu, Namaskaram Andi.
बोलेंगे नमस्ते भाई बोलो.
Sir, you said that we always focus about the wealth actually, no? And the wealth is what we misinterpret as the money. And then you had spoken about, given indication about inner wealth. So I have noted down some points. Please tell me whether these are correct or not. For me, wealth means that communication with our divine. For me, it is something like our divine resides in our heart, but we don't have any communication with, we are not taught to communicate with the divine. So once we know how to communicate with our divine, our problems become easier. And next thing is love. We should love ourselves and we should love our people. And also, I feel, whenever we are not finding success in any field, then it implies that there is lack of love in that particular field. So love is very important. Then next thing is helping others. We should know help out other people. Then also my wealth will be when I'm not angry, when I'm not jealous, when I don't think about revenge. These elements are not there in me. And whatever I'm saying now, these practically I have done, sir. And then countering our fears, actually. We have so many fears, so countering them. Then also it is something like 100% my responsibility and 0% others' responsibility. And encouraging people. And then when we say about doing our karma, then it karam actually, then it means that we have to do it without any asakti, without any expectation. So also like giving things to people without any thinking about whether will I get appreciation in return or not. So these are the some things, sir.
You very beautifully summed up the essence of my lecture. It is not karma tyaga, it is karma phala tyaga. Attachment to the work with devotion, but detachment from the result thereof is the most important point here. 2. In silence, we become inward. We experience ourselves much better. And when we practice silence continuously, it is said that the inner doors that are otherwise locked get opened up, and then the divine decides to descend into our heart and try to explain great truths, which you are destined, or which you are deserving, or which through you have to be revealed to the rest of the people. That's how it has been explained. I hope I have answered you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And next question by Kamlakar Garu, followed by Sinvas Raju Dachpalli. Please open your video because it's on live on YouTube. Kindly open your video. That will be good. Kamlakar Garu, please carry on your question.
Good morning, sir. How do we know what is the success?
How do we know?
What is the success? People today thinking that success is only acquiring wealth and learning a lot of money and all. But what is exactly a success means to an individual? The second thing is, how do we know what is important for us in our life? For me, what is important in my life? How can I identify the importance of my own life to me? And what is the meaning of success for one's life?
I will try to answer. I hope I could get the spirit which you have asked this question. Success in simple terms is fulfillment. Whenever you desire something, you get it. People say you are successful. Now, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Short term or long term? Good for you or good for others? Or good for everybody? So many questions and cross questions have to be asked in order to understand what constitutes success. For example, in the Second World War, America has unfortunately bombarded Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Did America achieve success or not? Did they successfully stop the Second World War or not? But with what consequence? That's why it is not easy for us to use the word success. But the second question, will you kindly remind me? At my age, I am losing my memory. How do we
identify what is important for us in our life?
Now, I will put it this way. Coconut, you know the coconut, isn't it? A lot of waste material has to be removed before you want access to the pulp and then the coconut water. Am I right? Life is a process of continuous experimentation where you will be taught. For example, if you are given a grape or a mango, you can very easily wash it and start eating it without the compelling process of coconut being removed of all the unnecessary things and so on. So what is important to you? How do you know? That's why I said, in silence, seek the answers. Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan muktihi. If you consider the entire world as transient, when nothing is permanent, why are you so ambitious to leave a permanent mark on this world? Great emperors, saints, and even avatars have left this world the way they have come, empty-handed. That's what our Vaman Kumar Garu is referring to. You have come with empty-handed. Maybe just for the sake of your old age or something, you may have to do it. Or I'll just put it into, I was reading it somewhere, that the unspent bank balance in your account in excess of what you have used in your life shows your wasted time and effort. I don't know whether I communicated it clearly. 2 करोड़ रुपए मेरे अकाउंट में है और जो है मैं निकल के चले गया यहाँ से, मतलब वो 2 करोड़ मैं कमाने के वास्ते कितने साल कितने महीने मैंने कोशिश किया था, वो तमाम जो है आई हैव सैक्रिफाइस्ड इंस्टेड ऑफ एंजॉयिंग लाइफ और इंस्टेड ऑफ पुटिंग इट टू more profitable use, I have used it for earning, which I could not use for myself. न किसी को फायदा हुआ ना मुझे फायदा हुआ. गलत बात है ना. So this is what my answer is, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, wonderful. One more question, sir. Srinivas Dachapalli. Srinivas Dachapalli, I invited you. Please ask your question. Srinivas Dachapalli. Yeah,
sir,
please.
good morning, sir.
Good morning, Andy.
Sir, summing up what you have said, wealth ante oka manishi yokka వ్యక్తిత్వం wealth లో అన్ని కవర్ అయిపోతాయా? ఎందుకు అనంటే ఇప్పుడున్న జనరేషన్స్ లో నేను చూస్తున్నది ఏంటి అనంటే స్పిరిచువాలిటీ లేదు. ఎవ్రీవన్ ఈస్ రన్నింగ్ బ్యాక్ ఏమంటారు మెటీరియలిస్టిక్ లైఫ్ గురించి వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు తప్ప నాకేం వస్తుంది నేనేం చెయ్యాలి అనేది లేదు. రెండోది సార్, ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని అంటే ఏదైనా తప్పు జరిగినప్పుడు ఏదైనా మాట్లాడదాము అని అంటే అరే నా దగ్గర రాలేదు నేను ఎందుకు మాట్లాడాలి అనే తత్వం పెరిగిపోతుంది. దాంతో మీరు అన్నారు చూడండి 600 years ఆడ్ కలోనియలిజం మనం ఉన్నాము అని అంటే ఆ రోజు కూడా ఎప్పుడైతే మన వాళ్ళు మన గురించి కొట్లాడలేదో ఆ కలోనిజం వచ్చేసింది. ఇప్పుడు కూడా ప్రెసెంట్ సినారియోలో కూడా అదే వర్తిస్తుందా?
ఓకే సార్.
అనేక విషయాలు, I mean, you have added up many things into one. Why the modern youth are so materialistic is Western influence. Number 2, at every point of time, even in Indian mythological history, demons wanted to enjoy life like Rakshasas, say Ravana, for example. And there were people who did not really accept that as the purpose of life and so on. Sir, it's a question of balance. Each one has to find a balance for himself. You cannot think of what suits one individual as perfectly suitable and replicable in the case of other individuals, please. That's why I said when you turn inwards, the solution that you may get may be completely different from a person who is sitting next to you and is turning inwards. Because sometimes we see in films, let us say, that 4 or 5 or 10 people may sit in silence and every day they will be spending number of hours doing penance. Do you think the same realization will come to all of them, sir? With same speed, same quality? It differs, infinitude. So many brilliant billions of variations are likely to be there. It will be unmeasurable. So my suggestion is, that's why, for example, know thyself. Read something which is, I'm not saying it is easy. It's very difficult. Sometimes even a second reading or a third reading, notwithstanding our familiarity with English and other languages, will help you. Read, let us say, Ramana, Bhagavan Ramana of Arunachala. Read Vivekananda read Satyasai. They have demystified great many things. Even if we can understand and get inspired by one or two ideas, that will be more than sufficient for us for one life of ours. Earlier, there was a question about karma, karma phala tyaga, janma, punarjanma, and so on. Now, these are all, maybe every one of us know a little bit. But then when it comes to adopting a detached attitude, unfortunately, due to the influences, we are getting more deeply entrenched in the attached attitude of this particular thing. That is preventing us. Sir, I would only put it this way. Barring those people who are struggling to get 2 square meals per day, rest of us are good enough to think of sharing what we have got with others. I'm not asking you to invite the people on the road and say, I have 18 shirts, so please take this shirt, take this pant, take this tie, etc. Not that sort of distribution. The real wealth that God has given to you, as you have rightly said, it is your personality. Personality is the way you act, you behave, you interact with things, with people, with circumstances, and so on. Now, if you can mold one more person in this life of yours, in the balance of years of life left to you, that's why I said, go to your schools where you studied. Tell them, today, whatever you are, today I am a successful businessman, or I am a successful employee, I am a retired employee. I want every one of you to aim high, as Abdul Kalam puts it. Make a difference to yourself, to your family, to your society. That sort of motivation is required. Give them books. Give them our YouTube, as I said, the good things that you have read. Or just write one page once in a week, not every day. If you can write, do write. Once in a week, can you not write one page? Maybe a half of it is an extract from a book that you have read, and the rest of it is your own comment, your own explanation, or your own reason as to why you think you liked it and you want it to be read by every youth. Just think of it, sir. Or maybe we can have a sort of, if Gampa considers it, think further as to how you can give back to the society collectively. Individually, you can give back. We come from different places, different regions and all that. You plan it that way. But you can think of giving back as one group of people. Say, for example, if our Gampa with 14 lakhs of followers in the YouTube were to refer to one particular meeting, let's say he just puts a note. There was a JC's meeting and Vaman Rao Garu spoke, etc. and so on. I'm sure there will be at least 10,000 people who will see it before the end of today. Why not we do it? Why not we pool our resources to see that we reach many more? Sir, there is no limit to the creativity of a human being. We can be very, very creative. It doesn't involve much cost, much time. You see, already we have conducted a session. It is already recorded. It is available on YouTube. Now, how do we reach 20,000 people by tomorrow morning? Gampa can do it.
Yes, yes.
Many others can do it. So a concerted action, a unified approach, a creative approach, where we invoke God and compel him actually to do what is good for this world, notwithstanding the, fast growing darkness and the blackness and the destructive mentality that is taking place in the world around. I hope I have answered your question, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It's wonderful. And friends, what you do now, just now, our group is opened, WhatsApp group. When Jayalakshmi Garu requested our Manoj just now opened, now let's have a discussion by voice messages or text messages or video messages in the group. Let's I request group to be opened up to 5 p.m. at least. Let's have a discussion, because we cannot go on discuss now. let's have a discussion in our group so that we can come to the conclusion. May not get a conclusion also. So today, wonderful two speakers, grow to glow and wealth. Many people thought wealth is what? Yeah, this is real wealth. So I'm the witness with Vishwanadham Garu. Since 1999, I'm associated with Vishwanadham Garu and he's advisor for our organization also, with his great contribution to society. And same 1999, I've been associated with Vaman Kumar Garu, Vaman Kumar. So I am witnessing both the legends today. We have wonderful legend speakers, and really I'm very, very happy for today's attendance. All of you really attended. Maybe not expected. I thought 100 will touch. No, it's not important, but no, people will watch. Already 60 people are watching live and in YouTube. Okay, by evening, I know that how many people will watch this wonderful session. And I will cut both these videos and I'll